It's warm, isn't it? It's an oldie. Describes the situation we're in quite well, I think. It's warming up, and I'm feeling the heat in a climate of anger and fear. Half the heat in your body is lost through the top of your head, but inside my skull, my brain is being deep fried in hot, boiling acid, every cell exploding like popcorn, as if my very thoughts were heating and then eating themselves. The pressure in this cooker is getting too much. It's going to implode, then explode. The hairs on the back of my neck rise one by one as the mad spark of fury randomly ignites them, and my head and hair becomes a forest of fire, corroding my soul, destroying everything it touches, destroying me. This next piece, it was based on an ancillary character from a show, fantasy show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it goes like this. Sympathy for a harmless child, frightened by his parents. A boy who wanted nothing more than to belong to others. A child who felt intimidated and bullied by his peers. A child who learned to hate the world to control his fears. A man who never found someone to share his lonely life with, who learned that malice and intelligence were the only tools he had to fight with, who learned to hide his cowardice and chronic insecurity by elbowing his way into a position of authority. As a school principal, he loved to demonstrate and show his power, but he was just a bureaucrat in service to the mayor. He died in flailing helplessness, devoured by a monster. Sympathy for this little man. Sympathy for Snyder. Okay, similar theme. This piece is called, well, I think you'll know what it's called from the poem itself. I think you'll know what it's called. The title's obvious. In a world beset with suffering, where all of us are floundering, we seek purpose, we seek meaning, we seek redemption. We were born, half-formed and screaming into a world perverse and merciless, coloured by our wailing rage, not knowing what we were beneath redemption. Every movement injures, even thoughts can kill other people or our world, our education. In this we see the flickers of infinite imagination. These be the faint beginnings of redemption. Our better natures fail us, abused by routine tortures, tempted by the easy pleasures that distract our good intentions. Our judgment and our prejudice conspires within our consciousness to prey on people's weaknesses, sporting with their differences for cruelty and exploitation. This is the worst of us, our corruption. A blind obeisance to this obliterates our empathy, at war with ourselves in self-annihilation, stuck in our own hypocrisy, deluding ourselves constantly about our virtues and our actions, neglecting our duty to the very world we live in. This is the origin of our destruction. Those of us who feel the truth of this surrender to despair, suicidal laughter, mocking our corruption. The world fries as poets weep. A nucleus of hope forms in the ocean, where our children will emerge, as our ancestors did, to redeem the wrongs committed by their elders. The war is never over. The battle never ends, fighting evil within and without. This is our world. This is our destiny. This is our redemption. sorry, I've got to interrupt my set. Holy shit, Lucy Carrington! My God, who are you? You're here? Welcome back, Lucy. Welcome back. Welcome back. One more from me. It's an oldie. It goes like this. When we are young, some of us say, when I grow up, I want to be an actor. I want to be a singer. I want to be a painter. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to inspire. I want to create. I want to be an artist. Now, other people say, that's all well and good, but you need something to fall back on. So fall back on your education, fall back on your job, fall back on the sympathy of all your friends and family, fall back on charity, fall back on the dole, fall back on the insecurity eating away at your soul, fall back on hesitation, fall back on procrastination, fall back on frustration. Fall back on never working hard enough. Fall back on the facts that you're just not good enough. Fall back on mediocrity. Fall back on misery. Fall back on disillusion. Fall back on confusion about who you really are. Fall back on lazy, wild notions about being a superstar. Fall back on the truth that being an artist is not about being famous, even for the famous. It's about finding and creating work for yourself and other artists. There's this myth about being an artist created by the media. It's that either you are famous or you are nothing. That unless you're a celebrity, you don't count for anything. That's a fallacy, a distortion. This is the truth of a real artist situation. It's not the fame, but the process of artistic creation. That's the real reason we do what we do. This is how we connect to the world around us. This is how we live, through our art. So if you're prepared to accept this reality, if this is who you are, if this really is your destiny, don't fall back, fall forward. Fall forward in your passion, fall forward in your ambition, fall forward, embrace your artistic condition, fall forward to stay alive, fall forward on anything it takes to survive, fall forward on your failures as well as your successes, fall forward on your own terms and no one else's, fall forward on your face, fall forward in embarrassment, fall forward in disgrace. Because if you try to avoid failure, you are going to fail. If you try to avoid disappointment, you are going to be disappointed. Because failure and disappointment screw us up. It's all up in life, no matter what path we take. And if you haven't suffered, you will. So you can either suffer or screw yourself up inside to being too afraid to suffer. The only way to move forward is to risk falling forward. So don't fall back, fall forward and keep on rising, keep on learning, keep on walking forward. I've been Alain English, books that sale, a tenner a pop. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Cheers.